Yo, what up, guys? So welcome back to the channel. So what I'm gonna be doing today is I'm gonna be working on the transmission oil change and engine oil change, and also I'm gonna be swapping out a filter for the transmission. So that's what I'm gonna be working on today on this one. So let me set up and walk through the process. All right, guys, so I got the car up in 4 ramps. In order to do the transmission fluid change, you have to have the car level to make sure you get the fluid right out. The fluid I'm using is original from Honda, which is this one, ATFW DW1. And then the transmission filter is that one right there, which is this piece right here. And also you're gonna need new crush washers for the bolt for the transmission. Before you do the fluid change, make sure the vehicle is up in temperature, warmed up enough so the fluid consistency comes out good. Also, I'm also going to be doing the engine oil, and I'm using this one, high mileage mobile full synthetic. So let me get this going, and I'll walk you through the process. All right, guys, so the location of the drain bolt for the transmission fluid is on this side. It's this one right here. So this is the driver's side and this is the passenger side. So it's right here. So all you need to use is a wrench, 3/4 wrench. You stick it in here, break it loose, and you start getting the fluid out. All right, guys, so I already broke the bolt loose, and now I'm just using an extension to retract the rest of the screw out. So now that you got the fluid flowing, you gotta come up and pull on the transmission lever to give it some air to make sure it flows out faster. All right, guys, so the next step will be to clean out the bolt, the drain bolt, because it has a magnet, so you gotta clean it out. Basically, this is like all debris, like metal shavings from the engine. Just wanted to show you guys how it would look. This car has about 180,000 miles, and I'm not so sure if previous owners did it, but here you go. It's all clean now and ready to get installed. All right, guys, so I just wanted to show you about the crush washer. There's one side that is kind of rounded and it's kind of flat. So this is the old one. I'm putting the new one in. So flat has to be towards the side, towards the engine block when you put it on the flat side. The rounded comes on this side, like that. Remember, the flat end goes towards the engine when you put it back in. All right, guys, so next step I'm doing is I'm removing the filter. It has a bracket. If you can see right there, it's a 10 mil. I already took it out. It's right here. Once that happens, you take off the 10 millimeter from there. It's a bracket. You pull it out, and that's it. Now you got to crimp the little hoses right there, and then you can pull the filter out. All right, guys, so I wanted to show you what I did in order to remove the filter for the transmission. So like I said, it's located here. You need to move this hose and that hose that goes in there like that. So what I use is a pair of Vise Grips like this, the clamp, so I can remove the clamps. Actually, it's a tight fit, but I mean, you can get it done another way. So on this side, I clamped them this way and then just pulled it back. And I use, as I'm putting pressure with these, I use one of these like clip removers to get the clamp moving and to get the hose off. And for the rear, I came at it through the back like this, clamped it and then pushed it back, and that gave me enough space to remove the clamps. And in order to get this out, just wiggle it out. Again, I used this one to pry out the hose, and it came out. But in order to get to this point, I had to remove the intake hose and the intake box. They gave me enough space to get the filter out, so now I'm putting the new filter in. All right, guys, so I finished installing the new filter in. So there you go. I put all this back together, the filters and hoses. Now what I gotta do is start filling out the fluid. Putting the fluid in, and so where you're getting it through, where you put the fluid through, is through the dip hole of the transmission right there. So now I'm gonna put the funnel, and I'm just getting ready to fill it up. So it came out about 3 quarts came out. So I'm putting 3 quarts back in, and then I'll check the dipstick. right, guys, so I ended up doing the draining the oil for the engine and doing the filter. I did that in the time lapse off camera because a bunch of videos how to do that already. So now what I got to do left now is just fill it up with the oil, and I'm pretty much done here. All right, guys, so I'm already done doing the fluid exchange for the transmission and the oil. So now what I got to do, because I do have the oil life, the service, I got to reset that. So in order to do that, you got to get it to this position, open ignition. Once it's here, you got to hold it. I believe it's 5-10 seconds. Once the service starts flashing, there, and then you let it go, you press it again. And that should bring it to 100. There you go, oil life. So see, oil life is 100. Now the wrench is done. So that's how you reset the oil life on your car for once you do the oil change. Now for the transmission, in order to check it right, you got to turn on your vehicle. You got to let it heat up until the fan kicks in once or twice. So what you do is you let the fans turn on between 1 and 2 times. Then you turn off the vehicle. Once you turn it off, you got to wait about 90 seconds. And then you can check your dipstick, the transmission dipstick, to make sure that the oil is between both little dots, which I'll be showing in a minute. All right, guys, so the fan just turned on, so I'm gonna check the oil. So what you gotta do is let the car sit for 90 seconds, pull it once, clean it off, so make sure you get an accurate reading. Stick it back in. So there's a little groove on the dipstick right here. Make sure it lines up once you stick it in. So you make sure it goes all the way in, like that. Check it, and it's almost right between. So I could add maybe a little bit more, and that'll be it. All right, guys. So that's it for this video. So I did the first part, which is a transmission oil change and engine oil change and filters. All right. So don't forget to like, subscribe. Any comments, thoughts, or questions, leave them down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.